Hello, hello, it's me again. This is the first time for you, but this is about 15 times for me. I have a journal to share with you. I've been psyching myself up to try and explain this to you. It's a very kind of personal journal, I think, which is why I'm finding it so difficult to talk about. Not in a bad way, just an emotional and a kind of feeling and inspirational way. Sorry about my fingers, they're being cute. Although I've just got out of the shower. Anyway, this is called Within Your Reach. It's inspired primarily around my favourite song, one of my favourite songs, but a song that's my favourite at the moment. It's been my favourite, well, I've loved this song for a long time, but at the moment it's one that's really kind of meaning something to me. I'm not going to tell you who the band is. There are some quotes through the book. If you wanted to stop and pause and read them and search the song, by all means do. It's an amazing band. Anyway, within your reach. Spring is obviously within your reach. Love is within your reach. Happiness, contentment, kindness, all of these things make me think of within your reach, and this is kind of where this journal comes from, kind of. And I don't think I've explained it better now than I did for the last 15 takes, but you know, we're going to have to leave it there because I'm going to run out of battery before I even open the book. So I have made this journal from, it's actually a wood cover. It's 3mm hardwood veneer ply, so it's pretty sturdy. It's been covered in a fabric that has been dyed. I have a removable tassel and charm, which I kind of laid out so you'd be able to see, but it never kind of works out like that, does it? There's two kind of strings of beads, sari silk, ribbons, trims, and I'm going to attempt to show you these. There is a rose charm and bead dangles on the dangle. Both of these can be removed. They are on a Tim Holtz thing. It's tied together with seam binding. There are lots and lots of dangles and buttons and charms, which I will show you as I go through the book. It has a 2-inch spine, and it fits a standard UK A4 sheet folded in half, so the equivalent to the US, I think it's letter paper. So I'm going to move that out of the way. Most of the images in here are either books, from books, and images that I've collected over a period of time that have meant something to me, that have, you know, said something to me, so I've cut them out. This image on the front is one of them, and, you know, she looks like something is within her reach, doesn't she? She's a bit sad looking. So, like I said, 2-inch spine. Okay, right, hopefully I won't mess this up because it's taken too long to get through this book. Okay, it lays nice and flat because obviously of how I've made it. There's a big pocket in the front with a little collage and an original vintage ticket. There are 4 of these in the book, and they are onto canvas, and those images are from Chikuna. Everything else, as I was saying, are either from books or they are from the old design shop, and I'll explain a little bit about that when this is a big page one, and it's been backed onto tea stain cartridge paper. Big lace pocket at the front. I've left all the threads. These can obviously be removed if you would prefer, because this will be in my Etsy. Little Tim Holtz paper clip, another one of those canvas tags, And these are some flashcards that come from the old design shop on Etsy. I will link Julie's shop down below. This is the first one of kind of my new tags that I've been working on, and straight after this I'm going to be recording a tutorial. It's Tim Holtz paper, a little bit of sari silk, and this is I've done some stamping and watercolouring on to tea bag paper, and I want to thank Michelle White, because this is not anything like Michelle White has done. There's loads and loads of YouTube clips on watercolouring tea bags, but I've had some tea bag paper for a little while, had no idea what to do with it, and Michelle inspired me to get it out and play with it, which is what I did. Big pocket here. This is another image from the old design shop on Etsy, and there's 5 of these in the book, and I have edged those with tea stained paper, and that's all stone on. This is a vintage typewriting instruction-y test kind of book. There's the first quote from the song that was inspired this book. I'm not going to read them all out. Ledger paper that's folded into a little pocket. These are the ATC backgrounds from the old design shop, and this is a little card with, again, some of that tea bag stamping in. A little bit of, I think this originally came from Michelle Mooney, and obviously Nick does this. Some fabric, another big pocket, another big book page tag. There's not a lot of stamping, there's a little bit here and there. There's a little dangle there. Edith Holden, music paper. This is an envelope that I have altered with one of the ATC backgrounds from Julie's shop, and I've stamped a key on there, and there's a little bit of writing room. And there's also some copper pastel, oil pastel around to kind of trim a little bit. Oh, that went on the back there. That's another little background from the ATC set. This is another journaling card from the old design shop, and the original scan was onto canvas and it's stitched, so when you print it out it kind of gives you that faux effect. There's another bead dangle. Small trim, ledger paper. There are 5 signatures in here. This is a vintage postcard, and I had fun reading the back of this because it talks about somebody who is obviously sending a postcard home to Ireland, and they've been to London, and apparently the weather is really hot and they can't go outside, so certainly wasn't recently. More stamping. This is... had to part with one of them because it just went in this book so well. This is one of those gorgeous vintage playing cards that I got from Julie. Here we have, this is one of the ATC backgrounds that I've done some kind of multicolour stamping onto, and this one is a chocolate receipt. Chocolate's always within our reach, isn't it? A vintage chocolate receipt that came from Julie's blog. Please go and check out her blog. She has so many vintage images for free that are in the public domain, and it's there for you to go and kind of view. They are absolutely amazing. Music paper, big page. I love this paper. I got this paper from Denise, so thank you, Denise. And I think the blue paper with the butterflies on came from Laura, so thank you for that, Laura. It's another one of those gorgeous images. Here's a little ATC card on a Tim Holtz clip. Just done a little quote on there. I think this is the one from Laura. Oh, I've managed to paperclip 2 pages together. Oh, I'll put that on in a bit. There's a little vintage safety pin, book page tag. It's backed onto tea stain paper, but I haven't sewn around that because I didn't want to mess it up. the centre of the second signature. The rest of the signatures have one of these envelopes in. It's a book page image from a vintage book. I've used it before. It's a bit of a rude title, but it's not really rude. The first signature I actually forgot to sew the envelope in, but all of the other signatures have an envelope in the centre. Another quote, music paper. This is a little altered envelope that I've turned into a little pocket. One of those ATC cards from Julie's shop, and some muslin vintage button and some stamping. And that's been held in by a little bumblebee. Not a bumblebee, but a bee. I've parted with one of the sheets of vintage writing paper that Julie sent to me. And in there is another one of those canvas chikuna tags. This is some tissue paper that I've stitched onto the edge. Another one of those gorgeous canvas faux tags. Another, I remembered the name earlier. And one of the lovely vintage receipts that Julie sent me. Flashcards. I think they're called flashcards. Music paper, a little bit of stamping. Another gorgeous. That is beautiful, isn't it? That's from a book. I can't tell you what the books are because, like I said, they're books that I've just collected images out of for a while. Sorry, ambulance. This is a little envelope that I have made and watercoloured using the tea bag paper. Like I said, go and check out Michelle White's, I think it's her last video. It's just awesome. So she definitely inspired this. Some more of that typewriter paper. Another little ATC card, and I've just popped a vintage postage stamp. This was actually from an envelope, and I've done a little bit of stamping over that. Another ATC card from the old design shop that I've just done some stamping over in a big pocket with some sewing paper trim. Another big envelope. Quote. I think this is probably the longest flip through I've ever done. Another little envelope that I've made there. And a bead dangle. Some stamping. Another gorgeous book page tag. Little tuck in there. Some trim. This is the second of these kind of new tacks that I've been playing with. You can't really see the colour very well. Hopefully you can. Some more little bits of ephemera in there. Another little Tim Holtz paper clip. I'm probably missing things. This is another vintage postcard from my collection. There's nothing written on the back of this one, but there is something written on the front. Yours sincerely. I think it might be Janice. That's obviously a big pocket there. Another one of those canvas tags from Chikuna. This was a bit of a labour of love. Oh, I love this image, and it goes with the kind of quote which, if you want to read, you can pause it, but that's the... Look at that tea staining, gorgeous. Another one of these little envelope tags. Kind of stated the obvious on those. Just a little tag in there. This one is held on with, oh, it's got a vintage button on it, and it's held on with the rose. Some trim, another tag. I'm so pleased with how this turned out. It's the biggest one I've ever made. And as Nick would say, it took a minute. I don't know if this is the first one in here actually. Oh, there's two of these little collages with some tea bag paper. It's just some little die cuts there. Another one of those ATC cards with the quote held on with a little Tim Holtz clip. Another, I'm really sorry if you can hear, because I'm so close to the camera I can hear my breathing in my head. I'm sure you can hear it too. I do apologise. Some trim. This is Sari Silk, I think. Yep, it is. Another book page image with spring. I love that dandy long legs, we call them here. And another one of my collection vintage postcards. That one's written on the back. And some bells. And another journaling tag. I feel like I'm rushing because it's so big and I didn't want you to get bored of looking through it. But it's also because I want to get this tutorial started. I haven't done one for a while. I've got so many in my head. And this is a little French check that comes from Julie's blog, the old design shop. That's online. Another ATC. Got a little bead. I love this bead. It's kind of different colour on each side, and it's got this kind of gold swirly pattern on it. That's another one of those envelopes. Another big envelope in the centre. Ephemera. A little bit of that tissue. This is the last of the tea bag tags. I really love them actually. Very pleased with those. I never say normally about my own work that I think something's lovely and I think something's, you know, done, you know, of my own. I don't say I think it's lovely very often, but I do love this journal. I'm very pleased with how it turns out. So if it doesn't sell, I won't be sad because I'll just keep it. Some more ephemera. Music paper, another quote. Oh, I couldn't find a pocket that this kind of really worked in. Just going to close that. So this is an actual tea bag on the front here. There's a tiny little tuck at the front and there's a little piece of tea bag stamping on there. And inside, I would have done, if I'd have started this when I started the book, I'd have put these at the front of each page. They're the tea bag paper. So it's a tea bag paper page that I've painted. There's just a few little pages in here, and then obviously that's the back of the tea bag paper. Thank you for that, for motivating me to get my tea bag paper out, Michelle. And in Michelle's video, she does specify where you can get it from. So, oh God, that's popped out there. So this is within your reach, and I will be listing it in my Etsy store. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you will enjoy the tutorial that I'm going to start filming straight away. Thanks again, and I'll see you later. Bye!